The death of North Korea leader has been shaking up the Korean market as well as the Kospi index. But how will that affect the Asia market as a whole? Let's check on the line with Kim Tony Lohitnavy, the director of Midas Capital. Sawasdee krab and welcome to the program.
Hello.
Yeah, สวัสดีค่ะ
Yes, Kun Tony, how is the financial market reacting to the death of Kim Jong Il and how long will the impact last?
I think you saw that South Korea market was the main concern yesterday, but we're seeing that it might be a bit premature to decide which direction the markets are going to go, because I think the new leader is an unknown entity, and it will take some time to the markets to figure out what impact he's going to have.
Yes. Do you expect the death of Kim Jong Il to stop the flows of funds from coming into Asia, those that were supposed to come here from running away from the European debt crisis?
Yes, I don't think it's as big a factor as the European crisis now. As I said, it's a bit too early to assess the impact of Kim Jong Il's death.
Yes.
The Euro crisis is number one on people's minds at the moment, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and how would Thai stocks look by next year? What would this news and the prospects of succession of Kim Jong Un affect the stock market of Thailand?
I don't think Thailand is too concerned. People looking to Thailand, I don't think will be thinking too much about North Korea.
Okay.
Thailand, people will be looking. The fund managers will be looking at price earnings and all the fundamentals. On a relative basis, Thai stocks are still quite cheap.
Mm-hmm. Would you
but
say?
remember, cheap could also be cheaper. So you really have to know what you're doing before you commit to anything.
Would you say these Thai stocks are still attractive comparing to other regional neighbors?
As I said, relatively they are very attractive, but you still need to be very careful before you jump in. That is what I will say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and what's coming back to Thailand just a little bit, what about the post-flood recovery efforts? How would that look onto affecting the Thai stocks?
It's a bit difficult to tie one to the other. I will say that the government's handling of the crisis, particularly the Prime Minister, has seemed to be what you saw on TV and in the press, seemed to be quite responsive, but the reality could be a different situation. I think what's going to have to happen is they will need to look into infrastructure and how they will cope in future, and the market is going to assess that because the companies have already been hurt and they could be hurt more. So ultimately, they have to protect the companies' interests in Thailand.
Well, in part, are there any tangible evidence of the government's commitment to make long-term protection on the flooding situation?
Well, they need to enact, spending. They need to spend money. Basically, they need to pass bills that will allow the government to build infrastructure that is going to avoid what's happened in the last 2 months. So you have to look into the policies coming out and what goes through Parliament to see what's going to develop.
It's still in a wait-and-see moment.
At the moment, wait and see. But you see, now we have less than 1 year before the next, rain season. And if it's going to be the same or worse, then they really push for time, because any kind of infrastructure,
right,
even building it takes time. This is even before they decide on implementing anything. So we're really pushed for time.
Finally, Kun Tony, what stock sectors do you recommend to investors?
I don't have a view on any particular sector, but I will say that the Thai stock is heavily dependent upon energy and banks.
Yes.
Because they consist of half the capitalization. So whatever sector you look at, you still have to know how the energy and the banks are going to perform, because they can influence all the other sectors.
Okay, that's all we need. Thank you very much, Kun Tony, for sharing your information with us.
Thank
Thank you
so
very much.
สวัสดีครับ